Okay, so I'm doing these videos pretty much as a reminder on how to fly some of the more advanced aircraft in FSX. What happens is I end up flying, for example, a new release like the PMDG 777, and you end up flying that for months and months, and then you want to go back and fly one of the older aircraft that you learned a while ago, and you have no idea what you're doing. So this is a reminder on how to set up a flight for the PMDG MD-11, and which is when I pretty much had to learn how to fly all over again after flying a whole bunch of flights with it years ago. So this is pretty much how to get the aircraft pre-flight, set up for flights, and once that's done, you're pretty much good to go. So let's get this started. Alright, so today I'm going to do a Swiss Air Flight 803 from London Heathrow, and we're going to Zurich. And of course this is on the MD-11. This is a classic flight around the year 2000. So I already have the schedule. Our departure time is set for 9:45 in the morning, and we arrive in Zurich at 12:20, and we'll be flying Hotel Bravo, India Whiskey Kilo, and the flight time will be about 1 hour 34 minutes. That's probably gate to gate. So let's get started. So I already have the aircraft loaded in the database for PFPX. So this is what we'll be using, and also have it added into TopCat as well. So let's get this started. Plan flight. Alright, and it looks like it has a setup for takeoff on 09 right from London Heathrow. There, we already have the weather loaded, so that's good. And it has us landing on runway 10 in Zurich. So it looks alright. Alright, so let's set a random payload. So I already have the max number of passengers on this aircraft at the time. I think it had 12 first class, 49 business class, and 180 economy class. Alright, this seems a little low. I'm going to try a different. Alright, let's do that. 193 adults, 6. Alright, zero fuel weight of 379 and 249. Alright, so we'll write this in the scratch pad here, because we're going to need this later on. So this is zero fuel weight, and our payload's actually what? 122,249. Okay. Okay, so this has us planned for the, what is this, Dover 6 Juliet Sid, going over Dover, and then has us flying through Belgium, and then it has us on a crazy TRA-1 Zulu star, landing on runway 10. Now that seems kind of weird. So yeah, this star doesn't look right to me, because it has bypassing the airport, then turning back, and then short final. So what I'm going to do right now is check the Jeppesen charts and see if there's a better alternative to this star. Okay, so upon reviewing the charts, it looks like better runway considering the weather and everything, and arrivals. We're going to go for runway 14. And then I'm going to, we're not going to do the Trasinga's star arrival, but we'll go over the VOR and then head straight for the runway 14 ILS. And also review the Dover, however you pronounce that, SID. And it looks like we're doing the pretty slow climb out of Heathrow, and we'll be maxing out our altitude around 6,000 feet for quite some distance until after the Dover VOR. And they want us to yeah, because it says warning, due to interaction with other routes, do not climb above 6,000 feet until cleared by ATC. And then for noise abatement procedures, they want a slow climb. So they're looking at about 600 feet per minute at 150 knots, 810 feet per minute at 200 knots, and 1,000 feet per minute at 250 knots. So we're probably going to do a vertical speed climb out of Heathrow. Just do a nice and lazy climb out. Alright, so this looks good. Flight plan is alright. So that's what we're going to set. Build route. Find destination alternates. We'll go with the defaults. That looks fine. Let's compute flight. And alright, so what do we got? We have distance here is 455.9. So let's put this in our scratch pad. Distance, we'll just round it up, 456 nautical miles. It says about 1 hour. And payload 122,249. Alright, so for fuel it has 30,000 pounds. Estimate for fuel 178. Okay, let's check details here. Okay, 30,000 pounds with 10,800 pounds that should be remaining in Zurich for reserves. Zero fuel weight 379,249. Our max of 461. So yeah, we're pretty light in this flight, which is fine with me. Weather out of Heathrow. We have winds coming from 0800 at 7 knots. 80, yeah, from the east at 7 knots. And let's see, Zurich. Northeast at 7 knots. That's fine. Pretty light winds. Doesn't look too bad. So let's just put this in the scratch pad at 7 knots. And then here what? 05. Okay, it's 7. Okay, here's QNH is 1026. And what do we got here? 1020. Alright, now release flight, and we're going to export it. FSX, PMDG. We're going to rename the file just to that. Click save. File should be out. Now we'll leave this open just in case we have to review something with TopCat. Okay, so this is all set in TopCat. Let's get our zero fuel weight to match. So 379,249. Oh, we're really close actually. That's pretty close. 379,249. That's good enough. That works. And then for distance, what did we have here? 456. Okay. And now let's estimate the fuel flow. So it's 43,200. Now for some reason Top Cat always seems to add. Okay, yeah, it's about 10,000 pounds more than what we have with PFPX. So I'm going to go with the PFPX actually, because we don't need 24,800 pounds of fuel remaining at Zurich. 10,000 more than enough. I doubt we're going to have any issues with the weather there or anything like that, so 10,000 should be fine. Check payload distribution. Looks good within limits. And let's check takeoff. So we're doing 9 right. Okay. Let's update. Now, one thing we'll need for the FMC takeoff data is the headwind component, which is going to be H07. As you can see here, temperature is 20 C, that's fine. 30, 1026, looks good. Optimum flaps, packs on. Takeoff weight 421534, should be 407927. That's because we have 10,000 pounds more. I'm going to set this to 30178. Okay. Okay, well, that's close enough. Alright, let's calculate this takeoff. Okay, let's do this again. 9 right. Compute. Okay, we can actually do a flex takeoff at 60 C, which is probably what we're going to do, because we have more than 5,500 feet left of margin. So we'll do 60 C takeoff, save some wear and tear on the engines, and flaps 10. Alright, this looks good. Okay, check our landing. We're going to do 14. Headwind will be 3. We're going to do flaps 35. Compute. So VREF, that all looks good. Alright, so let's get this exported to the flight sim. Okay, sending payload data, and then I think we have to manually enter the fuel. Okay, I already have Active Sky Next running, and there's our fuel. We have to manually set 30,178 pounds. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's bring up Flight Simulator. Okay, go to the PMDG menu, go to fuel, and then let's set 3178, apply, okay, and let's double check our fuel here. 3178, that's close enough, that looks good. Okay, so we have all of our pre-flight pretty much set with the flight plan and the weights. And one more thing here is to you load the panel state from PMDG, and then you go to load panel states, and right now let's just make sure we have the right ones set. I just usually use the short ground, turn around. Okay, so we're using that one. Alright, so let's start the pre-flight for this flight. Actually, this flight departs at 9:45 in the morning. So I don't think I'm going to take more than 10 minutes to get this ready for departure. So 9:35, let's set. 9:35. So it gives me 10 minutes for a pre-flight, and we should be good to go. Alright, so let's get this thing ready to rock and roll. Okay, we have electrics established. Right now the nav is off. Lights look good. Alright, so first of all I'm going to turn on my beautiful panel lights. This is turning on the little like backlights, which I like. I turn those on during the day, which is fine. Set our air pressure and set it to QNH. Okay, this looks good. Get our IRS units going. Let's turn on sound while we're at it. Okay. I'm going to set parking brake. Speaking of parking brake, we need a hydraulics arm for that. Auxiliary pump 1. I kind of need that to be on for parking brakes and just basic hydraulics to function. So let's get the FMC set up. Align ILS. Go to the next page, initialize IRS. I already have it set up on align instantly, so no need to worry about that. And the flight plan name is EGLL to LSZH. ZH. See if it loads up. Loads up, looks good. And we're doing Swiss Air 803. While we're at it, let's load this up into Active Sky Next. Flight plan, load, EGLL to LSZH. So it's saying it's going to take us to 39,000 feet. Now this is a classic flight, so let me check something real quick. Since it's a classic flight, I need to verify I'm going at standard flight levels. Okay, so for eastbound flight levels, using standard back in the day, it looks like instead of 390 we're going to be using 370. So let's adjust this in the weather program and refresh. Alright, set it to the map, some clouds, and now we can minimize that. And I'm going to set 370 for cruise level, cost index 100. Alternate route, whatever, we don't need that. Hit next page. This is 2 of 3. And now here we're going to need our zero fuel weight. Okay, so usable fuel on board, we have 17.3. That doesn't look right. Hold on. Thought we had 30,000 pounds. Okay, good catch. So it should be 30,000 200 pounds. Double check that. Yep. Okay, 30. 30.2. Okay, and Top Cat had our zero fuel weight 379.2. Takeoff 4079. Well, okay, that's close enough. And takeoff center of gravity, this is one thing we'll need to pull from Top Cat. Takeoff, so we have 28.4. 28.4. And then the zero fuel weight, we have 25.3. Now, because we're extremely late, we might get a center of gravity balance error message, which is normal when you're extremely light for super short flights on the MD-11. So next page. Okay, this looks good. Flight plan. Let's set the SID. So EGLL SID, and we're doing 9 right. And we're going to be Dover 6 Juliet. Okay, insert into flight plan. Okay. Now let's get the I'm not even going to use a star. We're going to do ILS 14. And they had us using the TRA 1 Zulu. I'm just going to go straight for the ILS from TRA. That's fine. Okay, so let's switch this to plan and review flight plan. Okay, this is a departure, and then Dover. Then from here we climb. Takes us over Belgium, goes over France, and then Lengi, TRA. We can even go straight into from Lengi to alright, I'm going to clear out Zurich from here. Then I'm going to clear out TRA. Clear out the discontinuity. Lengi, dung, 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 straight in the runway. Works for me. That's good. So the flight plan is set. Now let's set our takeoff. We're going to do a 60 flex. It leaves us 5,000 foot margin takeoff. We're going to do packs on. Just click next to that. Flaps are 10. Okay, slope. We don't have slope. And flight simulator, and then we had our headwind component, which was 7 knots. Yep, HO7. So HO7. And the outside air temperature is 20 and you have to put C, otherwise it won't go in. And here we have our takeoff speeds. Confirm takeoff speeds, 164. I'm going to set it to 174. Climb out. 174. We're going east. Pretty much east, but let me check something here. Going over the SID. Straight ahead at longitude DME, turn right, 122 degrees track. So I'm going to set it to 122 because that's what we're going to turn. This is going to max out at 6,000 feet initially. And check, this is what, 3030. Set our backup to 3030. 1026. 1026. Okay, matches. Okay, so pre-flight looks good. We have flight plan, takeoff, and okay, let's go to the menu, start closing the doors. Cabin doors, close. We'll wait for the doors to close and then we'll arm them. Okay, arming doors. And now let's go back, close the cargo doors. Close, close, close. And they're closing. Looks good. Nice old Swiss Air livery. Okay, so doors are all set. Everything looks good. Alright, let's put this back on map mode. Okay, and what time is it? It's 48. It's all 3 minutes past our departure time. That's fine. Turning beacon on. This probably should have been on before. Alright. And then we're going to get ready for pushback, but pretty much everything looks good. All the pumps are set. 30,000 pounds checked. And let's see. Alright, before you start the engines, you have to turn on the engine ignition, A or B. That'll turn off the packs. And then to start the engines, this is where you start the engines. I couldn't find that for a while. And of course the gas. So it looks like we're okay. APU, park, isolation on, no smoking. Okay, I'm going to set this guy to progress. And it looks like we're good to go. Just like the other PMDG planes, you can lower raise this. Alright, one thing, after pushback, make sure you set this to nav mode, and then profile. This is the vertical. And then for takeoff, throttle goes up, click on auto flight. That'll engage the auto throttle, move throttles full forward, and it'll take over from there. And then to establish the nav and VNAV, just click auto flight again and it should be good to go. Okay, one more thing, that this one's important on the MD-11 as well, is we have to set trim, the stabilizer trim. So this should be set to 4. That's one thing I didn't do, and definitely that's important. So just set trim to what the FMC says, and we're good to go. Okay, let's get FTG ACARS set up. Okay, EGL. HB, which one are we doing? IWK. Let's see if we can use GSX from here. Prepare for pushback and departure. Okay, set the engine ignition to A. And once we get the clearance for our engine start, we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, looks like a nice day in London. Alright. Well, one thing I gotta do is set the flap takeoff select to 10. Okay, I'm going to set TCAS on. Okay, that's on. Let's start. So your start order is 3, 1, then 2. So you pull out, you should see it come on. Okay, it's engaged. Fuel's going up. Around 10-15 fuel goes on into, alright. Looks good. And once we have all the engines established, we'll turn off the APU with this switch right here. Start stop. Oh, which way are they going to push me back? I need to go face south. Isn't it supposed to ask me? That's weird. Come on, GSX. There are a couple checks that the MD-11 has. You want to make sure the spoilers are armed for takeoff. Trim is set. And what else? That'll let us know. Alright, so let's start number 1. Are we going the right way? Yeah, we're going the right way. Cool. Okay, and 2's at 10. Fuel on. Okay, starting number 2. Fuel on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome aboard and please direct your attention to the TV monitors around the aircraft for important safety features on this aircraft. Please seatbelt, insert the metal fitting into the buckle and tighten the strap. To unfasten your belt, pull up on the buckle. Turbulence may occur unexpectedly, so keep your seatbelt fastened during the climb, even when the plane is not on. Cell phones, two-way pagers, and all other electronic devices should be off and stowed. In American Way magazine is a list of non-approved devices. Remember, cell phones and two-way pagers may never be used in flight. Tray tables and footrests should be secured and your carry-on luggage placed under the seat in front of you or in a storage compartment. Please bring your seats to the upright position for takeoff. It is a federal requirement to comply with proper instructions and instructional signs.
All the engines look like they're up and running.
Smoking is prohibited in the lavatories. It is against federal law to tamper with, disable, or destroy any smoking.
Now let's turn off the APU.
Please review the safety briefing card in your
APU should be turning off.
emergency information about this flight. The exit doors
Okay, as you see it says set flaps to 10. So that should automatically set the flaps to 10. Looks good. Okay, so let's arm nav mode. Should see it come up here, and we're gonna arm. I'd usually arm profile, but since this is a climb, this is a vertical. They want you to climb out really slowly from Heathrow for noise abatement procedures. So I'll probably be climbing out at 1,000 feet per minute, up to 6,000 until we hit Dover or whatever. Okay, are these goofballs away from me, or what? Where are they? Alright, clear on the right, clear on the left, release brakes. And as you can see, it says spoilers, armed spoilers. And now we're configured for takeoff, and the plane's happy. And we're good to go. Alright, so I'm going to pause this until takeoff. And then start the recording again. Okay, we've been cleared for takeoff from runway 9 right. I'm going to engage the high intensity strobe lights. Nav's on, I don't need logo or anything like that. Let's engage our landing lights. Now this is going to be a pretty fast takeoff because we are really late today, even with flex takeoff, so it should go pretty quick. I did engage the autopilot for VNav initially, so when I engage the autopilot, it'll, continue with the climb out, and then we'll adjust accordingly to comply with the noise abatement procedures out of London Heathrow. Okay, so looks like we're good. MD-11 doesn't like you to do a full stop during takeoff to avoid engine damage from runway contamination. So, advanced throttles. And stabilize, engage auto flight. Throttles all the way up. Okay, now we're really going fast. And like I said, this is going to be a real short takeoff. Rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Whoa, look at this baby climb. Okay, engaging auto flight. I'm reducing this to 1000 for noise abatement procedures. Nice slow climb out of London Heathrow. Auto throttle's adjusting accordingly. Looks good. Okay. Now F-35. Flaps up. SR is slat retract. Retracting slats. So that's it. We're good to go. This flight will go on, will go all the way up to Zurich. One thing to watch out for: insufficient fuel. Well, we'll have 8.9 because it's below 10. That's fine. During landing, you have to manually set the ILS and the course. It's not automatic like the 777 or 747. That's about it. Usually land with the flaps 35, not 50, which is the default anyway, which is fine. It tends to float less. That's about it. Another thing, let auto throttle control all the way down to touchdown. It'll roll back to idle and everything. All you have to do pretty much is engage the reversers and you're good to go. It's only one time I had to use manual throttle because there's a lot of turbulence on final. But that's about all there is to it, really. It's pretty amazing aircraft to fly, highly automated, and a lot of fun. Okay. Hopefully this will remind me sometime in the future how to fly this damn thing. So that's it, all for now.